Councillor Loftus and Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Lachance, be it resolved that Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby opens the Committee of the Whole at 6 p.m. on November 5, 2025.
All those in favor? Carried. Councillor Potier sends his regrets, and Councillor Laframboise stated she might be arriving, but after the beginning of this meeting. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson-Huron Treaty Territory, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Atikameksheng Anishinaabe. We also wish to recognize our neighboring community of Doki's First Nation. While we meet today, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous people and their culture. I also received a letter or a note from Lieutenant Governor, and he says, please note, Treaty Recognition Week is which is happening this week, is a meaningful time to reflect on relationships that shape our shared history and future. Treaties are not just documents from the past, they are ongoing commitments to call on all of us to listen, learn, and engage with care and respect.
Minutes?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Councillor Lachance, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Lachance and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved that the agenda for the Committee of the Whole held November 5, 2025 be adopted as presented.
All those in favor? Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest, Councillor Loftus.
None, Your Worship.
Councillor Lachance.
None, Your Worship.
I am declaring conflict on item 3.2.1, free use of halls by the Lions, and the reason is I am a member. So first item is 3.1.1, report Public Works building renovation prepared by Michelle.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you. So within the 2025 operating budget for the Public Works building, there was $5,000 allocated for lunchroom rehabilitation upstairs in the Public Works building. So when you walk on the floor up there, the ceiling downstairs buckles. The $5,000 was very reserved for the amount that came in on quotation at $25,000. So what I am recommending is that we currently have a building operating budget. It was $30,000 for this year. So we do have the funds available to do the project. It would just be to realign those funds into as a capital because it oversees the asset management threshold for rehabilitation on a building. So we would just take that operating amount and put it into capital to complete the project. That is if council is willing to move forward with the renovations.
Okay. Councillor Loftus, any questions?
Yeah, I was just looking at the extra 21,000 and I was saying to myself, well, I wish we had the Director of Finance to see how we were gonna come about getting this money, but since you've explained it, I have no issues in, moving your money around from the operating budget to get the project completed for them.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Lachance.
Yeah, so I don't see an issue with increasing the limit. I was just curious as to quotations. Was there one quote received or was there more than one quote?
There was 2 quotations received, both very close in costing.
Okay, so at this point, is just for the upset limit and then coming back for awarding the tender, or?
Because it falls within the quotation thresholds in a procurement policy, we're okay.
And what, just curious again, I know at first was just for the lunchroom up top. Is this now getting into more than just the lunchroom up top? Is this getting the washroom too and such, or is this?
So I had all 3 quoted. So the washroom and the office, basically just lipstick. and the upstairs, but because upstairs was never structurally completed appropriately, that's where the extra costs come in. So this amount is just for upstairs.
That's just upstairs.
That's just upstairs.
I'm almost wondering, those little lunch trailers that are on wheels are actually mobile. You could buy one of those for probably close to that cost and hook it up, and then if we needed it on a job site, instead of the workers going back and forth, we could always mobilize it there too. I don't know. Just spitballing, because again, you're trying, not saying you're trying, but this is to approve the
Renovations.
infrastructure, but at the same time, if we're increasing by $21,000, maybe we can look at different avenues or different ways of doing this.
That was a consideration. A utility building would be beneficial to use afterwards, even if it was moved to the landfill further down the road. I did not get costing, and because we're so close to the December 31st in this project, it would be up to council to direct me to look further into that opportunity.
Okay, for the allocated budget amount for this year.
I just don't foresee that the project would be completed by the year end if we were to explore that avenue.
No, for sure, I understand your concern there. I hope you appreciate mine as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So is there an obligation for it to be completed by December?
Just for the operating budget. If we moved it to capital as a project, we could roll it over until next year.
Yeah.
Just that we don't have a good space for our staff.
Yeah, that's the important thing. So it would be possible, even if we break that threshold, to move it to January, if need be.
That would be up to council.
Okay. Anything else, Councillor Lachance?
I was just thinking that space, if you're saying the ceiling moves, I guess it wasn't made to be bearing loads.
No.
Yeah, I think they were not 2x10s, but 2x6s, and spaced out a little wider.
That's correct. I just
Yeah.
didn't meet building code. We need to do structural reinforcement.
And what is your opinion?
It would have been nice to have a little bit more time. I'm not putting this on anyone. It would be nice to have a bit more time to kind of explore the options. If it doesn't get used out of the operating budget for this year, we could always increase the operating budget for next year by the amount that we didn't use this year too. So
Yeah,
there's lots of different things we can do.
yeah, it could be shifted over to the next.
That wasn't including the office or the bathroom.
That's correct.
Seems like a lot of money for putting some more floor joists in, but I guess there might be a lot more to it than that also, so.
We would be putting in a window and an air exchange as well. It needs to be, there would need to be, insulation, a window, and something for airflow, because it's upstairs, it's really hot, so nobody wants to go up there. It's warm in the summer.
Let me see. Anything else?
The only other thing I have to add is just if there's potential for a new garage in the next few years, it's just, to me, the other option of having a mobile unit would be much more feasible or proper, better money, better spent, I guess. But, that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Before we begin, good evening, Councillor Framboise. I have a question. Do you have any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
No, Your Worship.
Okay. So we are on item 3.1.1, and short recap, Councillor Loftus is in agreement to move ahead with the 26,000 because it's a movement in the funds within the existing budget. And Councillor Lachance is wondering if the purchase of a mobile trailer,
Yeah.
yeah, would be maybe more appropriate for the 26,000. Do you have an opinion on the matter?
I was just questioning, I know in past reports, there was also the bathroom to be fixed. Is that part of it, or?
That is not including the bathroom.
But there was a toilet purchase and everything for it.
We do have a new
Oh.
toilet that's downstairs to be put in, yeah.
Okay. So the mobile, you would want, what kind of, sorry?
Well, for me, if it's like not deemed for bearing loads up top, leave it as is, and you just buy a mobile trailer, right, a mobile office trailer or lunchroom, whatever you call it. And then if we did projects, say you're doing a project in the Bocalan Road, well, you could bring it there and have the workers have a lunch area also over there, so. Or if the garage ends up, getting replaced in the next few years, which I know was discussion before, wouldn't be putting money in a reno for something that we're not gonna use after.
I'd be curious to see if we could get maybe an estimate. Like, I'm in agreement with getting 26,000,
Mhm.
but now I'd be curious to see if we could get an estimate and see for the
Okay.
mobile.
All right,
See
so
if we can justify.
therefore, everybody seems to be in agreement for the increase or the transfer of the funds to your capital. But it seems like we would like to have an estimate on maybe a travel trailer to see if it's an option. If it's not an option, or the values come like quite a bit more than the 26,000, then I think everybody's in agreement to move ahead with the renovations. Do we want to wait for a final decision on our next meeting? Yeah?
I can report back with the costing,
Mhm.
and then we can go from there.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you very much. Next, item 3.1.2, report to council, Blue Box transition update. By Michelle.
Thank you, your worship. Okay, so everybody has in front of them the report that includes the letter from the minister regarding the Blue Box transition. So the report was provided within the agenda package because it is a direct level of service for our businesses. Come January 1st, they will no longer be receiving recycling collection under the new program. Staff did submit a program change to RPRA in September of last year and have been following up, but we did not receive any response back. I was in touch with Waste Management, who is overlooking our recycling program come January 1st. And they've been working with me in contact with another individual from Circular Materials Ontario to get this project pushed forward. So they're stating, because we did submit before the December of 2024, that we have a good chance of getting that depot at the landfill, so we can still offer those services, not curbside to our businesses, but at the depot location, which means that we'll still be diverting our recyclable materials from our landfill. That being said, we're still waiting for some more information to make that concrete. So in reporting that, we are running out of time. December 31st is coming. We do need to provide some type of communication to our businesses to notify them that they won't be receiving recycling collection at the curb come January 1st. Was hoping that we would have more information in the next couple of weeks to send that out in a newsletter to everybody.
All right, thank you. Any questions, Councilor
Will the
Weiss?
waste pickup stay on the Tuesday? Tuesday, right? Tuesday we have
Yes,
pickup? Yeah. 'Cause I
Um,
know there was question in the past for Wednesdays, right?
Yes, so through you, your worship. So E360, who is going to be the contract holder for our waste collection, proposed that Wednesdays be the day that was when they could offer the service. Waste Management, who is overlooking GFL, that's going to be doing our recycling collection, is trying to align our recycling with our waste, which would be on Wednesdays. So to have them both on the same day. That information is going to come back to me at the same time as the depot information as well.
I know that, I'm pretty sure you must have received phone calls this summer. I redirected some concerned residents from the lake area. They were concerned about having another extra day when they leave to go back home, that their waste would be like another day added to. They just wanted, they were pushing for it to stay on Tuesdays because of that, right? Because then I guess the animals get into the.
Yes. So we could look at adding more common collection areas. I know that there is some that are currently on our private roads, or I know that there's one on Lake Road as well. That might be an opportunity for them to kind of get over there and put their items. Yeah. But we can explore that a little bit further once we have the information provided from the contractors.
Perfect, thanks.
Yep.
Okay. Councillor Loftus
No, I have no questions.
and Councillor Lachance.
The way I understood was just for businesses, but I didn't think that we offered recycling pickup for businesses as it stood right now. We do?
Yes.
It's just the schools and such have to have their own then?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
think the school
commercial?
has their own.
I believe the school has its own pickup
Is there a
service.
difference between commercial and business? I guess is what I'm getting at, because maybe the
Nope.
school's institutional, I think K and Chill did their own at one point, but
They-
SOAR,
That's right. They have their own waste management currently does the collection at the school. I'm not sure, do you know who does the one for Canadian Shield? I believe that it would just be put out at the curb. I've seen other businesses that have their recycling just put at the curb.
smaller businesses.
Smaller businesses, yeah.
But this is stopping it for all businesses.
This is all business, all commercial
Including-
establishments.
Including municipal and campgrounds,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but not the residential unit on the campground. So the house still has.
Unlimited recycling.
Yeah, but it can't put a trailer full of recycling because,
So if the depot does get declined by the province to be put at the landfill, then council would need to consider whether they wanted to keep that level of service, and we would have to pay for the bin and the hauling and the processing of those materials from the landfill, or if those materials were going to go directly into our waste stream.
Any other questions, Councillor Lachance?
No, thanks for your report.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the report. I'm anxious I'm hoping that everything's gonna work out, and
It sounds positive, right?
yeah, that's what I could see from the letter, but it's not 100% conclusive. Okay, thank you very much. Next, item 3.1.3, report the council tender results for Secan container mounted roof. Who's this one? Oh, Michelle again.
Thank you, Your
Go ahead.
Worship. Okay, so in 2024, council had approved a project for a cold storage building at the Public Works Yard. This was to protect our equipment and assets from weather and to maintain their current condition. So we had received quotes. The quotes came over the procurement threshold, so it went out to tender. The tender results provided some costing that was some optional, so there was some required components to this project that were first identified in the 2024 project, which is considered 2 cans and a type of roof covering. Within the scope of work, I included some optional items just to better enclose the building and ensure that there's operational efficiencies. So included a back wall to protect from the wind and rain and everything going through. I also included some roll-up doors on the side of the C-cans because they're 40 feet. If you put everything in the back, then every time that you wanted something, you'd have to move everything out. So on the side of the doors, on the side of the C-cans, on the inside would be 2 roll-up doors, so you could put stuff on each side and be easily accessible. So with that, we received the costing. The recommendation for council to award the tender is based on the optional items included, which would be for 108,240. The approved 2025 capital budget was only $75,000.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Councillor Laframboise?
Was it approved, the budget in 2024 or 2025?
2024 and 2025, it was a rollover project.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no, I was just questioning that. That's good.
Okay, are you in agreement with?
I'm in agreement.
Yeah. Councillor Loftus?
I wish we would have had our Director of Finance here because I don't like to, we're looking at $33,000 over budget. And we don't, like right now, projects are coming in, you know, we're talking, we don't know what the budget's gonna be for 2026. But I know it's a good, it's a good investment. So I'm just hoping, like, if we do approve this, then we have to look forward to next year of maybe trying to cut somewhere else to try to balance this out. That's my only concern with this.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, just question, so the 240-foot sea cans aren't purchased yet?
No, it's all included in that cost.
So the way I'm reading the quote is we're purchasing the sea cans and then we're having the contractor install roll-up doors on them?
That's correct. They will modify them.
Have you looked at getting quotes for the sea cans that come with the roll-up doors already built in? Because they're probably cheaper than paying them to install the doors after.
I did not. It was just all included in the tender because the quotations came higher than the quotation threshold for procurement. That's all.
Oh, okay, because I'm not, I don't wanna give you more work, but they do sell the containers that already have the roll-up doors built into them, and you can buy them used too, so that have already had like a couple trips on them, and they're cheaper than what you typically do.
Sorry, I should have included that the sea cans are not brand new. They're anywhere from 6 to 10 years old.
So same kind of thing.
Yeah.
They've had trips, but you can buy those ones that have the roll-up doors already on them instead of paying someone to install the roll-up doors, and which is probably gonna cost more.
And to clarify, I don't know that these sea cans don't already have the doors on them. It was the option of a sea can and then they included an optional cost of, that's how much more that sea can would cost with the door on it. So if they're doing it afterwards, I'm not sure, or if the sea can already exists with the door on it and that's how much more it is.
Alright. And these all came with, well, two of them had their drawings that met the specs for the snow load. So you have those drawings then?
No, that is within the cost. It's certified drawings.
Okay. It'd be nice
With
to see
the
the
install.
drawings and maybe be able to see if they were, that was done with the doors, because again, if they go to cut the doors out of the side after the fact, then you're losing structural stability on the sides too, so. Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Are you in agreement with the budget?
Seems like a lot of money to me for two sea cans, and I know the supporting roof, depending on what you buy and where you buy it from, it can be expensive. The aluminum tubing or steel tubing for the half round, and the installation can be expensive enough too, but there's no in-kind on here for the groundworks or nothing. This is contracting everything out 100%.
We will be doing the grounds work. The site preparation will be done in
Maybe
post.
you could give a short description of what the roofing and, is it a,
It is steel. It's a steel 12-gauge roof.
okay,
And there's a 20-foot span, 40-foot span?
We're gonna have a 40-foot span in between the two sea cans. And the steel roof will be set on the inside of the two cans. So we have a turning radius within the building for our equipment.
do you know where they will be located? It's all decided, I'm sure, but,
Beside the Public Works building.
Between the
between
dome and
the dome and the current building.
okay. Anything to add?
No, I just, 100 grand doesn't really go far nowadays, but
Yeah, that,
I just wanna make sure that we're not, spending money in a foolish manner or, you know, that's what we got in, so. We can't do everything ourselves either.
what sort of groundwork, it's gonna be just prepared,
Drainage and base.
drainage and
Yeah.
base, okay.
We have pretty good drainage at that location, so we should be all right. We'll just put down a Gran A base and level it off.
Okay. All right, so unless I've heard wrong, I think everybody's in agreement with the new amount. But I see reservations, hoping that next year's budget is, there's gonna be some ways to make sure we're not adding again. We're gonna be looking for cuts, or for savings, I should say. Thank you.
Megan, is this just for the amount or is this tendering the work too? This one's just for the amount approval?
The
or
amount. per-
Not a tendering the work right away?
It was tendered. That's what you're seeing is the quotations from 3 different
That,
companies.
if we agree,
Well, you just said that if the price changes next year, well, it wouldn't
No,
be
No.
changing, that's what I'm saying there. Wanna make sure that we're all on the same page here.
no, I would say, elsewhere, hoping to find savings elsewhere. But that is, that's a tender for that bid. Are we all in agreement? Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance?
Can we look into the doors just to make sure?
Mhm.
Like if it's already, that was a good, I think you brought Councillor Lachance.
Sorry, my laughter. I've been called many things, from the doctor.
Yeah, just maybe. Makes sense what you're saying,
Okay,
but I'm in
Okay.
agreement, yeah.
all right, so everybody's in agreement. Thank you very much. Next, item 3.2.1, report to council, request for free use of hall, St. Charles Lions Club. Okay, you're up.
So. Three, is it
2.1.
3.21, report to council, request for free use of hall, St. Charles Lions Club, prepared by Denis Tickle.
Yes. So, this request was received by the Lions Club, and unfortunately in our bylaw, there's no conditions for free donation, so this request would have to come to council. They do qualify for the eligible association discount, but this is a request for a donation of the hall for their, what classes I will read, for their charter night, I think, charter night celebration, which is scheduled for this Saturday. And again, this is before council for discussion. One of the consideration council should give is that the Lions are starting to be active, and they, from my understanding, will be actively renting the hall in going on future events that are being planned. So, anyways, it's up for council's review.
Councillor Loftus?
Yeah, so just to let everybody know, I have resigned a couple of months ago from the Lions Club, so I'm no longer part of the association. It's just, I couldn't, it was too much on my plate. Anyways, I think, the Lions Club is very important to this community. It's going to be having like bingos, it's gonna be doing a lot of charity work for St. Charles, it's helping a lot of people of St. Charles. I think it's important to be fair to everybody, so with that being said, I know this is their first charter night, So I would be willing to forego the rental fee, but I really think that providing a cleaning fee only, because we do have to pay a worker to clean the hall after the event. So I would I would be in agreement with forgoing the rent.
Option one.
I would go with option one.
Councillor LaChance.
Yeah, I agree with what Councillor Loftus said. I think that's fair, and, again, they are important, and they are gonna be doing lots for our municipality, and they already have done for our residents, so I think that would be fair.
Perfect. So I'm in agreement also with both councillors, so option one.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, item 3.2.2, report to council Roma conference, prepared by Denis.
Yes, your worship. As with every conferences, you have an opportunity to request a delegation with the minister. I know in the past, it was Councillor Poitier that attended mostly the Roma conference. Usually delegations are for important matters to the community. There is one that I, whether it's this conference or the following conferences, would be high on the recommendation, would be to try to put in front of the minister the natural gas, we'll say cancellation of the expansion project to St. Charles due to cost. Council did approve a resolution. I did submit on behalf of council the letter that was prepared to their intake 3. It was received and approved for comment. So if you go on to the third, our comment has been posted there. And again, I'm just putting in front of council, if council wishes to push, that's about the only mechanism left. Really is like we did the paperwork, we did the resolution to the associations. Now it's if you want to go in front of the minister. Whether it will change, well, first of all, whether we are accepted for delegation, whether it will change their minds, it's all up in the air. Whether we take a chance and wait until spring or AMO, which was more commonly attended, we could ask for delegation at that time. It is hard to say. I can't predict the future. It's one of those things that if you really want something, you fight. So that is up for council discussion. Obviously, attending conferences can be switched around. Instead of going to one conference, you can go to the other one. Unfortunately, this one is coming up right in January, I think the second week. And again, the number 2, at this point it was like for planning purposes. I would just I did find some more information this week, or was it this week or last week when I attended the CEO meeting in French River with the other CEOs. We're going to try as a group to meet the provincial planners, and at this point I will have more information come up in the future on the planning process and try to improve it. So because of the recent information, I would just say number 2, at this point, let's hold off until we push as a group potential that one. And other is if any members of council have any concerns that St. Charles may have that we should bring to the attention of the province to remediate. Nothing really comes to mind, but it's hard to know what happens tomorrow. Whether it's we tried the school, and unfortunately the school is very much a rigid process, especially when it's a language protected right institution. So unfortunately that was a hard lesson and a difficult one to go. But again, I'll let council give direction.
Yeah. So,
I like option 1.
okay, to go ahead for a delegation for natural gas expansion? Councillor Loftus.
Yeah, I think option 1 is very important to the community, especially with our our structures, we've changed over, I believe, to propane, waiting for natural gas to come in. It would be a great benefit for the community, so I think option one would be on my priority list.
Okay. Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, if we would have been able to have the natural gas expansion like we were supposed to, it wouldn't, we would have been able to focus our efforts elsewhere, but, seeing as it was, the plans have changed, I think option one is, the way to go there as well.
All right. So, and I mean, I'm in agreement also. I'm ready to participate in the Roma also and assist in the delegation, which Councillor Potier, if he's also in attendance, we could go together along with yourself.
Okay. And we'll switch around the conference attendance if necessary, depending on budget too.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Next, item 3.2.3, report to council canteen report, prepared by Denis.
Yes, your worship, this is more or less an update where we left off early on when we discussed the canteen rental. I did reach out to the associate, is it an association? Our care association, yes. And so I did ask them to provide a bit of how profitable you are, the amount of volunteer hours, because I did emphasize to her that they put a lot of hours in. They may make money, but if I did the math and the amount of profit divided by the hours that they stated they were open, they're not making minimum wage. So whether they could have a better menu, advertise more or something else, or these numbers are not audited, but still, I do believe that they were honest in providing the information. And then it gives council an idea whether, if the rent is set at an appropriate rate or not. So it gives a bit of an understanding. They did submit their insurance. It was still valid from last year. It's valid until January. I did speak to them that they should try to make it seasonal instead of having a split year, because whether they get it next year, they would lose out on the insurance that's still valid until January next year. So
Yeah.
they were understanding, and they also have tried. Independent of that, we did receive I did receive a correspondence from a local business. It was not solicited. They are just trying to looking for expansion, and they would be interested in, if it ever comes up for bid, open bid, to put their names forward to show interest. I did advise them that we were late in the season to start the process, but they were agreed to make this public, to bring in front of council, so in hopes that we would be opening up the process for a public tender, and obviously that would have to be due early summer to get it to prepare. They are, anyways, it stands as it reads there, so it's basically, unless there's other direction from council, it is information as requested that was provided.
Yeah, that's it. We had basically agreed but we had still requested their numbers. Councillor Framboise, any comments?
No, but I think it's a good thing that someone else is bringing tender or is looking into wanting. So I think that for next year we should look into offering or publicly putting it out there for other people to
Request for
join.
proposals.
Yes. Ça marche pas aujourd'hui.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Loftus.
No, I know that we've already awarded the turbos the season for the canteen. But this is very interested that another business or small business would like to expand. And I think with all of our activities that we have, splash pad, during the summer, like the summer months, it would be interesting to see if we could put it out to tender in the summer to see if somebody would be willing to take it over. Or, put bids out so that it's open all year round instead of just seasonal.
Okay, good idea. Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, no, I'm happy that they got back to us with some figures or some numbers, so, and it's good information to know that going forward, for next year, and there would be maybe worth posting at the meeting.
Okay. All right, so for this year, the Turbos are once again gonna be, renting the facility. Okay, thank you very much. Next report, 3.2.4, a report to council, St. Charles, 55 Plus Connect, request to move stove and fridge. Prepared by Denis.
Yes, your worship, this is one that if we only knew. So the Connect 55 program came as a result of a provincial grant. And the idea was to use the arena kitchen to prepare meals for seniors and provide various programs. The program has continued, but as council is aware, because of stairs, and you cannot use the lift that's there to ferry any, it's only made for people with accessibility needs. The stairs were becoming encumbered, so the request was to move to the hall. The hall kitchen is a beautiful kitchen, but it is dated. The stove itself is approaching probably close to its end of its life. We have some, I will say some concerning issues with the stove itself. It is probably in, trying to use the proper words here. It will have to be replaced because it is aging and there's concerns about safety. So that being said, and then we do have one refrigerator also at the hall that is also aging out and it's slow to cool. The doors don't really shut well. And those are where we have our big activities. And on the flip side now, since Connect 55 left the arena kitchen, and with the Connect 55 grant, the fridge and the stove was funded through that grant. They go mainly unused. We know the rental of the upstairs is very limited. And now we have a beautiful stove up there, a beautiful fridge that are sitting there mostly unused going forward. The idea here would be to capitalize on the assets we have to improve the kitchen that's mostly used. Unfortunately, the installation of the stove, moving of a cast iron stove, even if you take it apart, requires some effort. There will be some reconnection on the gas lines, but it's mostly getting a qualified movers. There is concern about safety, bringing it up and down, not having the proper equipment. I know our staff did bring it up, but I was told that it was almost beyond what they should be doing. So I don't want to put that, especially going downstairs now.
Mm-hmm.
Going upstairs, there's no one below, but going downstairs, there's a risk because, anyways, we can't put anyone below. So that said, an estimate right now, and just first of all, I want to see if council's in agreement moving the stove before we went out to see a moving company and the cost. So if council is looking and saying, okay, we are going to have to move this, then if we can do it for under $1,000 with the connection of the stove, and hopefully we can, because it's probably just a couple of hour job to move it, a couple of hours. Probably a day to move the stove, but $1,000 should cover the cost. That said, new stoves go for $3,750 online, and new fridges $3,500. So those are it's cheaper than buying new, but then the kitchen that will be left. There will be a fridge in the bar left upstairs, or we can still move the old fridge back to the arena, but we would add two old fridge at the arena, and there's an electric stove that would be able to put in the kitchen in the arena, but that would be effectively making that kitchen a place to warm up, have coffee, and maybe warm up, I don't know what, in electric stove. It's not big commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So I know in the past we did have like the ATV run, out of there, they did have spaghetti dinners, and you do need a significant size stove to run those events. Unfortunately, those are not happening. Whether they will happen in the future, it's all about having a facility. So regardless if, on the downside, if we don't move, eventually the purchase of the option, it won't become an option in the near future, whether it's next year or the following year. All it means is that the next time the technician comes and says, I won't fix it because it's not safe, we may be forced to buy one. So anyways, the Connect 55 is looking and is providing meals and is ongoing. But the stove is the big question right now.
I will just add one more item, just with the stove, and it's reliable to a certain extent, the one in the municipal center at this time. However, it's happened once or twice where one side of the stove is non-functional, and even having municipal staff look at it, it wouldn't work. Then having a technician come in, and all of a sudden it works. So there are some issues, even though they don't seem to, like when you go there, everything's working, but you can go there one day and all of a sudden half of it's not on. Anyhow, Councillor Laframboise.
I'm just curious, what kind of stove do we have upstairs at the arena? Is it like a big burner?
It's a 10 burner.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a 10-burner,
Two
double oven.
Double
and
oven,
Is it
yeah.
Garland?
I think it's a Garland.
Like it's a
I'd have
good
to-
quality.
And there's enough room, like if we,
Same size.
okay. I'm in agreement with, to relocate, because to be honest, I'm not sure how many times people are using the upstairs arena.
Okay,
For the $1,000, I think we should relocate and bring everything to the hall.
all right. Councillor Loftus.
Yeah, I'm also in agreement to move it because the community center holds a lot more functions than the arena. Maybe later on, we can look at replacing something at the arena, a little smaller, but at this time, we don't have $8,000 to put a new one in the community center and Connect the Meals on Wheels. They do support a lot of people, like 100 meals when they do it, so I have no problem with spending the $1,000 to have it moved.
Councillor Lachance.
Just thinking, for the fridge side of things, I know they do use the fridge, not as often, but they will need a good working fridge up top for when they do a family tournament and stuff, or their.
There's a bar fridge too, it is in good working condition?
Yeah, but if we're bringing the new one over to the community center, we should bring the older one.
Yes.
There'll be 2 fridges available. Unfortunately, I just told you one, the door
Yeah.
doesn't stay
Yeah.
shut and it's sort of cold.
And the stove, these guys are planning on bringing it back over there, that's in your estimate of $1,000, or is the stove going to the garbage?
We're hoping to
Or
resell it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we do have an electric range there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a household range. It's a single oven, 4 burners. It would be good to prepare a meal for a group maybe of 20 people, but probably no more.
And we're gonna use a professional moving company, so they'd be bonded, I guess, for,
Oh, this is the main reason.
okay. And it's not gonna be going in the elevator, I assume.
I don't think so.
I don't think it'll fit anyway, so,
Exceeds max capacity.
yeah, it definitely does.
That thing's heavy.
That's, hindsight's 20/20, I guess, would've been nice to, would it be cheaper just to make them do the meals back upstairs again? Get some young volunteers to carry the groceries and put them.
Well, yeah, I know the volunteers should have been in better shape.
Yeah, speaking as a volunteer,
Yeah.
the stairs are narrow, and that's the whole problem when you're going down with a pack of meals.
It's
You
harder
don't
to-
see your feet in the stairs, and there was a few of the drivers that they didn't fall, but they almost fell.
And from a liability standpoint, the staircase being narrower is not as hard to stumble down. So, yeah, I agree with upset cost $1,000 to have the range moved and the
All right.
fridge brought back. also.
All right. Thank you very much. So upset limit 1,000, let's get some quotes. Thank you very much. Next item, we're at the conclusion, so moving the seconder to adjourn. Councillor Lachance, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor LaChance and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved that the Committee of the Whole of November 5, 2025 be adjourned at 6:50 PM.
All those in favor? Carried. Meeting is adjourned.